Welcome back to our social hour, and of course we have a very interesting topic today. We're talking about being fixated on the wedding more than the actual marriage. And of course, in studio we have with us our guest. We have Robert Burale. Welcome again.
Thank you very much.
And we have Yvonne Bulimo. Yes, did I get it right?
You got it right.
Of course. And we're going to have a very, very interesting discussion. And of course, let me not call you that.
I was actually waiting for that grand intro.
Cheke will kill me. Cheke will kill me.
No, it's all right. Then you can be part of this conversation. Twitters at K24 TV, at Jimmy Gathu, at Remy Majale, at Cheke TM, at Racian with the double S. Robert, you on Twitter as well?
Burale 1.
What?
Burale 1.
Oh, Burale 1.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. At Burale 1 and
Yes.
Yvonne.
At So Far Vaughn.
Okay, say that again.
Say it in English.
So Far Vaughn.
So far forward.
There you go.
Okay, if you're able to find her, you can
Yeah.
also tweet her. And of course, you can call us live. The numbers will be on the screens shortly and be part of the conversation. Or you can actually share with us some of your experiences. Are you the kind of person, whether you're married or not, who still pictures this grand wedding in your mind? And there's nothing wrong with that. But is it just about that particular day, then after that, what happens next? Because Remy, I remember Cheke was sharing with us a story of an article that he read yesterday of this lady who was so fixated on her wedding, and it was all about, when are you engaging me, and then after I get the ring I go show it off to my girlfriends, or I'm engaged, and you're just pushing for things to happen so fast because you want to see yourself in that white gown, and then after that the wedding collapsed after 2 months.
And the wedding cost 5 million. You know, and then it didn't even last. What happens? I don't think there's anything wrong with, waiting for that grand. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, really, really. But the thing is, what's with that thing of like, even by the answer, they like, see my ring, oh my God,
I don't know how that all started. When I go on Facebook, everyone is always getting married, and the first thing you see is the ring. You don't really see the process, before them getting to know each other. But I don't feel anything wrong with glorifying the ring, the dress, as long as you know who you're getting married to and you're ready for that. Yeah.
So what exactly is the problem then? What happens when, especially as women, since you're this small, the only thing you've known is, it's like you're always prepared for that, wedding, the marriage thing, especially what Chimamanda says, young ladies, as you're growing up, and the only thing you think of, one day I'm going to get married, I'm going to wear a white, beautiful dress. But then there's nothing after that. No one tells you anything else after that. You're just fixated on that. What's the problem?
I don't know. In terms of marriage, maybe you can take that now.
First and foremost, I think we're raising a society that is over-glorifying the wedding, which is just a 4, 5, at most 7-hour affair.
If
And
one
then-
does not seem to agree with that, you should have seen it.
No, I don't understand that.
Okay.
And I would say this, especially for the ladies, we concentrate so much on the bling bling. I want a diamond ring. And you don't even know if this guy's a diamond heart. First and foremost, you want things to show off to your friends. Because you attended a wedding that cost 10 million, you put pressure on a man to do a wedding for 11 million. And the guy is on a 20,000 a month salary. And men, I'm 6'2", but I'm 6'2" of ego. So when you tell me your friend had a wedding of 10 million, I will even sell my kidney to have 11 million. And then what happens after that? When the lights are off, cameras stop rolling, and you go to your honeymoon, then reality checks in. And then you've spent 10 million, limousine, and you don't even have a car park for a Vitz. Then reality checks in.
Wow.
And then what happens? Struggles start. Your man is in debt, and you're the first person to say, we can't afford meat 5 times a week. And yet you put him under pressure to do an expensive wedding. So yes, we're over-glorifying weddings and ignoring the importance of marriage. And that's why we have the weakest marriages in Eastern Central Africa as Kenyans.
Let me ask you, Robert, you're married. And they say always the wedding is a woman's affair.
Yes.
At the end of it all, men are really not bothered. I wouldn't mind even if you were to put a string on my finger. And
Are you sure?
honestly, I am. I just need the commitment. Just don't do the things, the non-negotiables, which is more based on...
Look at it, fun. Like, girl.
I'm going to counter that. But Robert,
I want to see you with your string. You let me know when you get that string.
I'll show it to you.
Okay.
I said I don't mind. It doesn't have to be a string. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Metaphorical. Are you in context?
So in terms of, did you go out of your comfort zone to try and do the kind of wedding your wife wanted you to?
No, but I was under pressure to do that, not from my wife, but from society. Because I happen to be, sometimes being a public figure, you want the wedding so that Pulse comes and they cover your wedding. And I said, hang on a minute. These guys don't care. Even the ladies who come for the wedding are coming to look at the negatives. If there's a small stain in a white satin gown, they will not they will look at the face, but not concentrate on the face. They look at the pimple. So don't spend too much yet. 90% of the people who are coming to remove marks in your wedding. Now you're going to spend 300,000 on food, chicken, whatever, write the names on your serviettes and all that. When you get to your house, you don't even know the butcher's number.
Okay, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know who these people are, but I don't feel like there's anything wrong with celebrating. It's a celebration at the end of the day. You're getting married to this person that you love and you're going to be with for the rest of your life. So what's wrong with celebrating it and making it as elaborate as it should be?
Thing is it just gonna end there? Like he said,
No,
you're hiring all these limousines, but you don't even have a parking space for a Vitz.
Okay, now if you don't have your money in order, then that's the problem. You shouldn't be getting married. But if you have the money or you have the capabilities of producing this elaborate celebration, then why not do it?
Let me ask you, Yvonne. Oh, sorry, Remy, to interrupt. Let me ask you. Say you're in love with a guy who does not have all the monies in the world, but they really love you and they don't have the budget for a big wedding. Would you settle for less? Like that
I would make it
on
work.
Your finger.
Okay.
That just going to the.
No, I don't want the string. That's for you. I'll take the actual ring. I want a nice ring. I do honestly want a nice ring. I want a nice wedding. If my husband,
what if he's not in a position to provide for
then that's what I'm there for.
Or you will do it for yourself?
I will. Yes, of course, because that's something that I want. Of course, it's supposed to come.
I have a problem with that.
Really?
First and foremost.
I actually thought a man would have a problem.
No. First and foremost, a woman is not wired to provide.
Okay.
And I can tell you without batting an eyelid, if a woman plays 60% of the wedding in as far as finances are concerned, you assure a year down the line she will use that against you. And the easiest thing to puncture is a man's ego.
But let me ask you this. Doesn't tradition say that the woman's family should be the one to pay for the wedding?
Which tradition?
That's not tradition? That's not... No, that doesn't happen? Really?
I'll buy you an encyclopedia. No, not at all. No.
I know some communities...
Whichever tradition says that, I don't believe it is right. Because we are ego. We want to provide. If I can afford a wedding worth 50,000, don't make me do a wedding for 1 million and you'll provide 950,000.
In terms of the actual wedding, isn't the woman's family supposed to fund the wedding?
Not at all.
Okay.
So what's happening?
That's different.
What you're doing with weddings, it's like going to a gas station, filling your car, then putting it on neutral, and you rave so much that when you realize you need to move, you put it on drive, and then by the time you're starting your journey, there's no fuel. That's a problem.
So Yvonne, I think this is what we're saying,
Sorry,
right?
Yvonne.
It's not. I think this is what we're saying. We're not saying that there's anything wrong with wanting an elaborate and a fantastic wedding. The way you visualize it, and having your man understand that and doing his best to provide what he can. No worries, That's what we want. That's what we're saying. It's awesome. It's cool. Thing is, what we're trying to understand as from a woman's perspective, from your perspective, when does it become wrong? Because if I have to go to my girlfriend's and I have to go and exchange the ring that my man gave me and get an expensive one for myself for me to floss to my girls, hey, I got like a 500,000 ring, and it's not my man that bought it for me. He bought for me something that he could afford, but I want to show off. It's more of a fantasy fixated. When does it become wrong? Because there's nothing actually wrong with wedding a good wedding.
No, it becomes wrong when that's the only thing that you're thinking and worried about. Like if I was only worried about that ring or the nice dress or where my wedding is going to be, of course, then that's an issue. But I don't feel like it's a problem if you're worrying about those things and you're ready for marriage and you have the money. I don't think that's the issue. I personally
There's no problem if you have the finances.
I don't think
and if you're also waiting for the
do you
wedding.
realize there's a problem that people are having harambes for weddings?
It
Yeah.
is.
Now,
A good wedding is not about the finances. Simple can be very good. I'll give you an example. November 30th, I did a wedding, and you were there in Naivasha.
Yeah.
A guy called Fred and Helen. And we had a lot of fun. What these guys did, they negotiated a rate at one of the most expensive lodges there. And they told these guys, cover charge, 2,000 to come for a wedding. But they're not charging for the wedding. You're going to spend 2,000, spend time in a very expensive lodge in Naivasha that costs 20,000. Now, that wedding, if they were to spend money on their own, all this money would have been millions. But what did they do? Went simple. Guys had fun, and the people were in love. Now, spend 20 million on a wedding. Believe you me, the bank manager is on your phone call all the time. A man is so stressed, he cannot perform in his bed, and then the woman gets stressed.
And troubles begin.
Exactly. Women can be affected by something very small. When a Man U fan loses a match, don't ask him for anything at night.
Oh, gosh. What were you going to ask me? You were going to ask me something just
I was listening to my producer speaking in my ear. What are we talking about again?
Weddings and
no.
marriages. The ring?
The last, yes, the ring. The
yes.
ring. In the story that Remy, the example that Remy has just shared.
I actually know someone that did that. I was surprised that she did that.
So you actually don't think it's acceptable?
Ring that she got, I was like, that's really nice. And she was like, no, I don't think it's big enough for me. So they went and got another ring.
You went to such a big
So
wedding.
she told the guy, I don't like the ring, get me a bigger one.
She wanted something bigger, yes.
And
I was appalled when she said that. Because, you know, I felt like he went all this way. He came from another country because they were living in different countries. And he proposed and he got her this nice ring. And she was like, it's nice, but it's not what I want. So
that is so messed up.
He went and got her a bigger ring. And I was surprised. I wouldn't do that.
What would that do to a man?
It will make him, first and foremost, it will make him feel very inadequate. You're putting the man under undue pressure. And the moment you make a man feel that his best is not good enough, you've punctured him. And you've set a very bad precedent all through the marriage. Because now he's under pressure. Now, I'm buying this girl a BMW. Will she want a Range Rover Sport? So you're making the man go out of his comfort zone. And then he breaks. And when the man breaks, his productivity levels goes down. And then guess what? The wife is the first one to complain in the chamas and saying, I have a useless man.
Very well said, Jimmy.
Useless is a very
How much trouble did you have thinking about your wedding?
You see, and but there's spot on Yvonne, spot on Robert in a different perspective. It's very true. But here's the thing, and Robert is right on this one. For me, can I say my wedding or our wedding was my gift to my wife. And I'll tell you why. The wedding, as you said, Resian, is the day for the woman, not for the man. In fact, everyone looks at the gown, everyone looks at her makeup, everyone looks at when she smiles, whether she forgot to remove something on it. That's all, it's a fact. And Robert is right. Everyone looks for mistakes in a wedding, but that's everyone. But for the woman, and you will tell me this one day, Resian, when you get married, you will not stop smiling because it is a gift to you. It is your day. And that's how it must be. But you know, the thing is also, and that's what Robert is saying, if somebody, like what Yvonne was saying, somebody buys you a ring and you say, I want another one. Not this one. Robert is spot on. That is, what do you call it? Euphemism for issues going bad. If you can't figure it out then, if you can't stop your marriage then, let me tell you, spot on, Robert. You buy her a Beamer, she tell you, who? Yanani? Give me a spot. It is true. If you can't fix things before you get married, they will never fix themselves. Mm-hmm. And if you do fix, you have so much damage has been done, it will be irreparable. And that's why you see people saying, oh, you know, we've concerned because of irreconcilable differences. Okay? So a wedding, do it because it is that time when you're telling the whole world, this is a man I want to grow old with, or this is a woman I want to grow old with. Don't do it because you want people to see how lavish it was. Or I spent 2.5 or 20. Robert is like, I know of a wedding. I think Robert and I know of a wedding that cost about 20 meter.
Yes.
That wedding, was it? Probably
it didn't last a year. Because for them, that was it. Let's show guys we can have a wedding for 20 meter. Not let's show guys how in love we are. Mm. And I will always say it, and Robert has had me say it many times. Sorry, Robert and I have known each other for many years. I am never ashamed to say that I married Ninawa Chantal because I loved her. That's the purpose. Otherwise, what's the point? You come and do. You do keep chomoka hivi. Mama Chantal, Anyway, here's what guys are saying. George Ombogo is saying, on marriage, you can't wed unless you're in agreement for marriage. Spot on. Roy, marriage is a lifetime commitment while a wedding is just a business deal.
Hi.
Doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. Because then, in fact, if you agree this is the beginning of our life together, even if it costs a meter, it will be the most beautiful wedding ever. Nyaburawali is saying, marriage lasts a lifetime, wedding lasts a day. True. In fact, unless you watch the wedding video, it's a blur. It takes a year to plan or two, but it's a blur.
You know,
But
Jimmy,
a
there's
marriage-
this joke. There's this joke of a man who got married. It's so expensive and lavish. So every time he keeps on watching his wedding video, he keeps on looking at it from reverse. Like he always looks at himself walking away from the wedding because he hates the way his marriage is going, because that was like the wedding was such a big event. Now that when he keeps on looking at the video, he always remembers the time when he was like, he plays it in reverse so that it looks like he's walking away from the wedding.
Good one. Charles Boogeyman Ruga is saying it's obvious marriage does it right. True. Gregory, wedding at times just a show off, but later a sour marriage. Doesn't have to be. It's not easy. It's jobo, but it doesn't have to be at its sour or whatever the case may be. Karen Lodongo, marriage, the period between the bells and the bills. True. If you plan it well, though, doesn't have to be. Sakwa Collins, emphasize on marriage. Wedding is a one-day thing, thereafter a lifetime of commitment which matters big. True. Ephraim Derito, doing a wedding to rubber stamp your marriage doesn't guarantee successful union. It all depends on what was the... Hey, Buddha! What was the uniting factor? Was it the renji? Was it the gang? You know what I mean? Or what was it? If it was not love, iyo haitaisha. Renji kichomoka hivi, kwisha. Jamaa kishindo kuamsha, kwisha. Farim Wilson, picture Muslim couples. It's all about the marriage. Picture Muslim couples.
Jimmy actually wants
No,
to
some
dwell on that.
Muslims' weddings are
somebody was
elaborate.
actually saying that for Muslims as compared to most Christians, this is somebody saying, this is not my opinion, they're more focused on the marriage, while they never have this grand wedding that they call every. It's very customary. And also somebody else is saying customary marriages also reflect better, customary weddings, sorry, reflect better marriages, because from the get-go, it's not about how many people are going to come, what sort of food you're going to prepare. It's just very low-key. Do you agree?
Yeah, well, you see, like I said in my preface, it depends on why you're getting married. It depends on what is the purpose of the wedding. It depends on the purpose. And it's the two of you. If the two of you decide, okay, we're going to have a huge wedding because we want to have a huge wedding, we are not proving anything to anyone, the guy will say, and spot on Robert is true, the guy will say, I want to have a big wedding for you. And the mama says, no, you know what, it's you and me. It is the two of you who will agree. If you want to have a big wedding because you want to show guys you can afford a big wedding, yeah. If anything goes wrong, and each one of you will remind each other, oh, I'm the one who put in the 20 million bill. Oh, you didn't buy me the best. That's what will happen. If the two of you agree, saying, you know what, it's for the two of us. Whether it is big or small, it is the two of us. That's most important. If you do it for people, shock on you. In fact, I wish Robert can talk about that wedding of 20 meter. And lasted 1 year.
It's now a wedding.
1 year.
Yeah.
No, I have a friend. She's getting married in the Dominican Republic. So she has a destination wedding. But what her and her fiance are doing now, they're going to counseling classes to prepare themselves for the actual union. So I feel like she's still getting this elaborate wedding on the beach. You know, she's inviting all her close friends and family, but they're still preparing for that union. And I think that maybe now, I don't know, society, do they have counseling or things of that nature? I don't know, you can talk about that.
Counseling is very important in marriage. And the problem, I will tell you why.
Not during marriage, before marriage.
Of course.
Yeah.
Before marriage,
Before
counseling is very
marriage.
important.
Yeah.
But the right kind of counseling. What happens is that we have women coming together and they meet this lady who's about to get married, and the whole night, and they in the midst of strippers and everything, and they throw advice here
But
and there.
even men have
Yes, but I'll tell you something. I will tell you something about the mind of a man and the mind of a woman. The mind of a man is about ego. you can tell a man 50 things, he might only pick one. But you'll tell a woman 50 things, she'll pick 49. So now, if there are 10 women...
Of women, amen.
No, but now, it's a good thing, but imagine if you're told the wrong things.
Yeah.
And you're told, you know, this is what your man needs to do. On that wedding day, you must come in a helicopter and everything. Or if your man doesn't have the finances, please chip in. I come back to you. A woman should not finance the wedding. I will tell you why. Before the foundation of the world, you as women are receivers. Even while in the marital bed, a man gives, you receive in everything. It is not by mistake, it's by design.
Look at your face.
Yes.
If a man can afford a wedding of 50 shillings, the moment he does it and you say thank you, he will feel like I gave it out, so I'm respected for that 50 shillings. But if he gives 50 and then you give 100 million, you've killed him. He might never say
But
it.
this is how I'm looking at it. I'm not necessarily chipping in because I'm trying to show him that you're not matching to the standards. I'm trying to help him.
Yeah.
This is a
I'm giving you
marketing
secrets that men will never tell you.
So you should not help.
Okay,
You don't
so-
even
No, no.
offer to
No,
help.
no.
Right,
Let me
that's
tell
just-
you.
I don't feel like
I'm
that's
giving you
right.
secrets that men will never tell you.
No, no,
Let a man feel that he has conquered
So,
according to his financial
in
capabilities.
a few words, it's at what time you should actually, because I believe that there are times when you really need to look at, you know, how this guy is. You know, so not every time that, you know, he does something and you want to help is the actual right time to do so. But there's actually comes a time when it's correct. Like the right time is there and you can actually chip in and both of you will be
Of course,
cool.
there's a time for that.
So there's actually, you need to look at
For a
the
wedding,
phases.
no, never, ever.
No, I didn't say that. Like, for
I know, 'cause I'm
example,
sitting here like,
For
wait.
example, when you get married, you might decide one time to come home with shopping. That's fine. But there are milestones in a man's life.
For example.
Milestones. Providing for his wedding. Paying the bill on the birth of his first child. Those are milestones that you have to let the man...
I still have
Can
a
we go
problem
back
with
to the
not
wedding?
providing
Yeah.
a
Okay,
wedding,
right.
Particularly when it comes to the wedding day. Why? Because I'm thinking, probably you know he's pressed financially. You're not trying
Yeah.
to tell him that
You're
I
just
know
trying
you
to help.
can do it. I'm trying to help because it's our
It's
wedding.
an offering.
I'm a specialist,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a
Another thing,
specialist
it's
in
our
non-verbal
wedding.
communication. So I will tell you something, and I speak with so much authority on this one, and I have grounds to stand on.
Okay, so a man
What
should
I'm
buy
saying,
my wedding dress?
No, what I'm saying is this. Get this very clearly. If a man can afford a wedding of 500,000, which is still a good wedding, but in your mind, you want a wedding of 5 million, and then you
That's-
I'm just giving an example, then you add the 4.5, there is a problem.
No, that's different.
But if
That's
a
what I'm
wedding,
talking
if a wedding will
about.
cost 20,000 and the man has 18,000, bring the 2,000.
Oh, that's fine.
But
Then I'll
because,
be in
but when you
agreement.
say because I wanted a wedding in Dominican Republic, wherever that is, and the man wants his wedding in Bungoma, let him do it.
No, the wedding is going to be in Dominican Republic. What are you talking about?
Let me tell you, I'm sure all the men here, Jimmy, you agree with me. What I'm saying is this.
You just said the wedding is for me, so it's no Bungoma.
It is for you.
You can go
But it is
Or
for
the
you.
Bermuda.
No, fine.
Somewhere.
The wedding is for you,
Jimmy,
but not by you.
Robert, we
Okay.
need to go to Jimmy right now.
Okay,
Jimmy,
help me out, Jimmy. Help me out, Jimmy.
Resian, let me tell you, that guy,
Dominican.
that guy Resian called Robert has told you, but hey, okay, you know that he's married already.
can't.
Yvonne, are you married?
I mean, no, I'm not.
Dominican Republic.
Dominic, that Jama, that guy has told you things. Let me tell you, things a man will never tell you. And milestones, I'm telling you, milestones of a man is paying for bills. When I begin to pay bills for my family, it is a milestone, okay? If you think a man, this guy can't afford this, okay? Don't tell him you can't afford it. Let me say, dear Apana, there is a way. And if the wedding, if his budget is 500,000, imagine try and make it 500,000. If you have 5 million, think of something you will do with that money in your marriage. But if he's at 500,000, you say, Apana, let me ongeza, me, I want a wedding of 5 million. If you can't afford it, I'll give you 4.5. You've killed him. And there are things a man will never tell you. From the onslaught is when you diminish him as a man, when you poke his ego, and he can't express himself, Kucha, he will never. And that's what I'm saying, he will never come home to you because he thinks, if this woman thinks very low of me, and then he meets this person who thinks he's the king. What I tell you, Restian? Make a man a king, he will treat you like a queen.
Hallelujah.
Okay.
Yani robo muongea kama watu wa wise kama so. So let me tell you, those are things. Resian, wewe unatafuta kuolewa wewe.
Not necessarily.
Na Yvonne won the Dominican Republic. Yvonne and the Dominican Republic.
I never said
if there's
that.
anything you must know, and it's always old school. Always old school works. Treat a man like a man. Let the man be the man. You will never see a man trying to be a woman. If he can, quite interesting in terms of washing this and you know what I'm saying? Let the man be a man. Don't change 20 years of character building. Robo menibamba. We take a short break. We're back just now. Robo menibamba. Acha nikunywe chai kwanza alafu nikam.